But I also have a special guest with us in the studio. But while in the spirit of celebration, we must also talk about the appreciation of Naira. It's becoming something that a lot of people are happy about. But unfortunately, the price of foodstuff and also cost of transportation remains the same. And joining me this morning is Reverend Omoye. It's a pleasure to have you this morning.
The pleasure is mine. Good morning.
We are in the spirit of celebration.
Yes,
so
I have to say a thing or two. I want to congratulate ITV on its 27th anniversary. I am praying that the golden years are still ahead for ITV and not behind it already.
Yeah.
I also, as one of the persons that have been a follower of the TV when it came to Abuja newly, it was a very sweet relief. We had a dichotomy kind of system before, and then we had a try with ITV coming and bringing a new twist, and we really appreciate that. And God bless ITV.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. But quickly, let's get into the nitty-gritty area because we don't have much time on our hand.
Exactly.
There's appreciation, in the appreciation, but fortunately, the price of things remains the same. What's your take on this?
There are quite a few factors that we must put into consideration when looking at this subject of the appreciation of the Naira, the value of the Naira as compared to the dollar. However, we should remember that a lot of those that bought products and especially products, the law of supply and demand has to take its course. Some of them have these things still stocked in their warehouses. Some of them also have bought them at very high prices, so they need to sell them off. So the prices will be stable for a while. And then the dynamics of logistics in Nigeria, that's transportation. It's really the cost and mix of dynamics of transportation dynamics in Nigeria is very terrible. But basically, we have only trucks. There are no trains. There are no other avenues whereby goods can be moved from one place to the other. Coupled with bad roads and other things, we already know that the prices will be stable at high until such things begin to get lower. The nature of inflation in Nigeria also is a matter of consideration, in the sense that you discover that the prices normally will start rising with transportation costs. No thanks to the announcement of the removal of
subsidy here.
Yeah, so it spiraled from there, and then it had affected every other thing. I have this theory I call the roundabout theory. When you get into an intersection, or like a roundabout as we used to call it around here, you discover that when one of the tributaries gets stuck, eventually the whole tributaries will get stuck, and that's where we are now. Yes, transportation started it, but the price increase and inflation have affected every other aspect of business and commercial activities around. It will take a while for the decongestion to happen. So if we are waiting to see an immediate reduction in price because of the value appreciation of the Naira, it will take a while. I don't see it happening today, tomorrow, but within a few months, most likely. The rise also in the value of currencies within our neighboring countries is also a problem for us, because now many of our commodities are having alternative markets where they may be willing to pay higher prices, not because the currency went up, but because ours kind of depreciated astronomically over a short period of time. So many of our commodities are cheaper for them to buy. Thank God, or should I say thank some of the state governors around that stopped the export of grains through their borders and others, and then things like that. But however, we should know that this will be a problem. So manufacturers and sellers have alternative markets that are willing to maybe pay a little higher because their currency is stronger than will be willing to pay here. And so that will also float the prices for a while, I think. Then the other factor I look at is the human factor, the fear of tomorrow, and especially the infamous instability in our policies and currency in Nigeria. It is very terrible. There is no thinking manufacturer that will say, because the currency dropped a few decimals just a few weeks, I should just drop my prices overnight. He wants to be sure that it will be carried through.
And that's the major source of worry for me. And Nigerians are also still scared about this Naira appreciation, whether it's only for a short period of time. So people are still careful about that. How long will it take for people to have trust that this is really happening and it's going to come down?
Now that is a major blow below the belt for leadership in Nigeria, because we have the inconsistency have taken so long that, sorry to borrow your own words, it will still take a similar period of time for us to gain the confidence of the people, so that they can now take decisions based on the outcome of our own decisions as leaders. Now that is a very major problem that we need to actually face as leaders. And whether in governance, whether wherever you are as a leader, you must build confidence, and people can have confidence in the policies you raise, that you not sleep this morning, come up with a policy, and tomorrow you just wake up and say, let's just throw that in the trash can. And
I come up with another policy, some certain policies
exactly.
as well. Does not also input implicit trust in the system.
So even when you come with a new policy that seems to be working, people are still apprehensive that let them not wake up tomorrow and you have changed that policy again.
Well, I must say big thank you to you this morning. I know time not really in our hands, we could have taken more, but hopefully we can have another day, because I must hand over back to the Benin Expo Studio, because I don't want to miss the cutting of the cake. And there's so many people out there, they also want to miss this part. Hopefully we have another day, we can talk extensively on this issue. And hopefully maybe at that time, Naira will be 800 Naira to $1.
Or maybe 200 Naira.
$200. Okay. I'm back to some of the people right there at our Benin Expo Studio. The cutting of the cake is what we are all looking forward to, and also to wrap up the program from our Benin Network Studio.